Hi there and welcome to Insomnia Insight. These are focused episodes where we look at a certain aspect of sleep. And in this episode, by popular demand, we're going to talk about polyphasic sleep. Specifically, I'm going to cover these questions. Is it a thing? Is it a real thing? Is it beneficial to have more than one sleep period? And could you be genetically programmed to sleep differently than most people? And that's why you have insomnia. In the society where we're supposed to sleep at night, etc. So those kind of were the overarching questions. And first of all, before we start answering them, I just want to share my screen so we can look at the specific comment that prompted today's video. And this is a comment
Fatigue.
on
I couldn't
talking
get to school.
insomnia number
Joint pain.
86, is it? With George here.
Yeah, and it just progressively got worse and worse that I couldn't even attend
and
school.
there's a comment here from 4 days ago from Jonathan, a long-time supporter of the channel,
that was
where
going
he says,
on.
"Hi Daniel,
They could
another
say,
great
"Oh, it must
video.
be chronic
Actually reminded me
fatigue,"
to ask a
without
question.
actually properly
I've been wanting to
diagnosing
ask for a
me.
while. What do you think of
Then
these
in
polyphasic sleep
2013, I
cycles? Any
think,
thoughts on them?
I went to a
I know
chronic
they're
fatigue
usually
unit,
focused
and
on
they said, "Yep,
productivity,
you have
but
chronic
do you
fatigue."
think it can help those who have
Yeah, I've
trouble
been trying.
sleeping?
Sorry to interrupt,
We'll
Jordi,
take
but
another look
as part
at
of the,
this comment later on, actually. But
chronic
this is, I just
fatigue,
want to show you that this is
really
where
the main thing,
this
or was
is one of
insomnia a big
two
part of
or
this as
maybe
well?
more requests that prompted today's video. So I want to share an article with you that I refer to a lot. It's by an author, the first author of this article. His name is Yetish Gandhi. He goes by the other Gandhi. So not the Gandhi that was so instrumental into like the liberation of India and all that. It's another Gandhi, and it's Yetish Gandhi. So his name is spelled like this, Yetish Gandhi. I've talked to him on Twitter, and I've asked him like twice if he wants to be a guest on the channel. He's kind of one of my dream guests, and he said yes tentatively, but he hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. Anyways, what does it got to do with polyphasic sleep? Well, here's the thing. The idea, and let's get back to this article, but a very common idea is that before the Industrial Revolution, before the invention of electricity and artificial lights, we humans slept in two phases, not one phase, but two phases. We had like two sleeps, an earlier sleep and a later sleep, or something like that. And the idea is that because of industrialization, people needed to like work in factories. We were sort of forced to be up the entire day and forced to sleep at night. But that's somehow not natural to us. That's this kind of idea behind polyphasic sleep. And oftentimes when we have these questions, it would be really nice to be able to time travel, to go back in time and look and see, like, is this really true? And we can actually do that. That's kind of the shocking news here. We are going to do some time traveling right now, which of course isn't real. Like, we can't travel in time. We all know that. But we kind of can. What do I mean by this? Well, there are people who live today, in this day and age, in a similar way as people lived all over the world in pre-industrial times. And this is where Yetish Gandhi and his work, it's not just his work, his entire team, the entire group has, of course, contributed a lot to the work. But they looked at, in this article, they looked at three pre-industrial societies, in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia, so on two continents. And what they did was that they took actigraphy, like they took like these Fitbit style, devices and fitted them on a group of people in these societies and just studied their sleep. And generally speaking, Fitbits and things of that nature give us a pretty good idea of a big picture type of like sleep duration and things like that. I don't recommend it at all when you have trouble sleeping specifically, because like our desire for control is what causes us to have trouble sleeping. But for the sake of polyphasic sleep and all this discussion, I think this is really helpful. This article, that is. So they took those actigraphy devices, put them on people in these societies, and what did they find? Well, they did find that people in these societies where there's no artificial light, people live sort of hunter-gatherer style. They did not sleep more than "quote unquote" modern humans. Average sleep duration was 5.5 to 7 hours. Like I always say, about six hours or so on average. They go to sleep several hours after sunset and typically awaken before sunrise. And temperature appears to be the major regulator of sleep, not actually light. And if we look further down in the summary, napping occurred on less than 7% of days in winter and over 22% of days in summer. So napping did occur, but still, what these studies show is that people in these societies sleep the same way we do, which is almost everyone has like one chunk of sleep at night. So to me, this completely refutes the idea that things were different here before light. And it's this study is so interesting to me because not only do we not see polyphasic sleep, we also see that sleep duration, as the point out, is the same. We also see that timing of sleep is about the same. When you look at these studies, people in these societies would sleep from like 10:30, 11 till about like 5:30, 6, something like that. Very similar to how most people sleep in an industrial society. So somehow I think we're sort of programmed to sleep in a certain way, and environment has much less impact than we would think. Anyway, so okay, going back to our questions. To me, is polyphasic sleep a real thing? Not really. Not in the sense that it's not this idea that this is the way we slept before artificial light. To me, that is not true. But if you look at polyphasic as in like, do some people like to take naps? Are there some societies where a lot of people take a nap, a little siesta, something like that? Of course, that certainly happens. But I think the polyphasic idea, I don't think that is real. Now, is it beneficial to have more than one sleep period? Some people say like, would I do better if I slept like twice or 3 times during the day? Personally, I think that almost all of us feel pretty good when we sleep like in pretty much one chunk. Maybe we take a nap, maybe not, but I don't think if there's any benefit to trying to like sleep more times per day or something like that. Could someone have this kind of genetic programming so that they are like programmed to be polyphasic sleepers or something like that, and in modern society that doesn't fit, and therefore you have insomnia? To me, the answer here is a no, because surely some of us prefer maybe being up late and sleeping late. Some of us prefer going to bed early and late. That can change during our lives, though. I think that's flexible. Some people may maintain a preference throughout their lives, but the point I want to make is that has nothing to do with insomnia. Insomnia is a fear thing, and even if you're sort of a late, you're an early bird, but for some reason you're sort of forced to go to bed late, that doesn't cause insomnia. It's maybe a nuisance. It causes some disruption, and you don't feel amazing, maybe, but it doesn't cause insomnia. And that's where I want to go back to actually Jonathan's question. So. Or Jonathan's comment rather, because I think there's much more we can learn from that actually. So let's head back to Jonathan's comment.
I can't do this, I can't do that.
Jonathan says, when I'm setting my biological clock, I kind of end up going through these cycles accidentally, like right now.
It does not work exactly.
And I usually wake up
so true.
And it's amazing. It's a shame. It's very difficult to maintain.
Exactly this, of course.
When I see like when I'm setting my biological clock,
we already have a pretty good picture of what's happened, what the struggle was like, and then you in 2020 or so, just like you found this YouTube channel. I usually get up at 7. Tell us how you found it, and then how your immediate reaction was. Set an alarm in the morning and get up at that time. But when you think of it as like setting my biological clock, it signals a level of like interest and sort of preoccupation and pondering that
and then I remember posting something
desire to sleep and desire to feel refreshed, which we see again here. When I wake up, feel refreshed, it's so amazing. And of course, it feels great when we wake up and feel refreshed.
Matt Walker,
the desire to
Matt Walker,
that again and again, to repeat
and then you were like,
to make
oh,
it
this
happen,
guy,
to maintain
this book isn't very good,
such
to be honest.
a schedule, as Jonathan says, that to me is a source of the struggle when trying to achieve these things that happen naturally when we don't try.
I'll listen to this guy.
So,
start watching your videos.
For example, I'm now sleeping on a 1.5 hour cycle 3 times a day. I feel like I would get better
journey,
in addition to remembering my dreams, but obviously I feel tired faster. The sleep also comes faster. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this, if possible, in the video. And here it is. Here is the video, Jonathan. So again, I think often what happens is, and maybe this is Jonathan's case, maybe you can relate to this, Jonathan, is that you wake up and it's not actually sleeping 1.5 hours that makes you feel refreshed. It's rather that you slept and you feel some relief. It's some of the, I slept. Nothing's wrong with me. I can sleep. I'm okay. I'm all right. That's the source of the energy and the lightness. That feels great. But then after a while, the ideas come back. But, well, I'm on this 1.5 hour sleep cycle. Maybe there's still something wrong. Why am I on this weird cycle? And then we feel heavy again. Then we feel tired. It's nothing to do with sleep. It's how we, our thoughts. And then you take another 1.5 hour nap, and then you're like, I can sleep. There's nothing wrong with me. You feel light, and you feel tired. And so my point here is that, when we see that, I don't need to chase sleep. I don't need to chase a certain sleep cycle. I don't need to be on a specific rhythm. It's how I think about it. That's what matters in terms of how refreshed I feel. When we see that, then things become so much easier. Then we're no longer trying to achieve a biological rhythm. We're not really pondering polyphasic sleep versus non-polyphasic sleep. Everything just becomes easier. Yeah, Jonathan, I hope this made sense to you and everybody else that has wondered about polyphasic sleep. As always, let me know in the comments section your thoughts and any questions, etc. And we shall go from there. I hope to see you real soon. Bye for now.